Live from a studio somewhere inside the simulation, it's VR News Now.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time of day you are watching this video. I am your host, Too Damn Golden, and you are watching VR News Now, your destination for all things VR news. And in today's news, Hitman 3 Reloaded is a complete dud. Did Sony accidentally leak a brand new PSVR2 feature? But first, our lead story, which is the highly anticipated release of NFL Pro Era 2025 update, which touched down this past week on MetaQuest headsets and introduced both a live service model and, more importantly, the ability to play as a defensive player, as gamers will now have the opportunity to assume the role of a linebacker. But for a much more detailed look at this one, let's pass it over to TDG. Thanks, Golden. Pro Era first graced our various headsets back in 2022 and was met with mixed but generally warm reception upon its release, and much was the same upon its second entry into this franchise last October in the form of Pro Era 2, with much of the same being noted and critics noting the inconsistencies with regards to tracking and actually throwing the ball to the intended receiver. Both, of course, critical issues when we're talking about a football sim title. But cue the recently released Pro Era 2025 update, and there has clearly been a ton of work put into this one, and the changes that have been made are apparent and abundant. Now, the first thing I noticed with my time with this one was the much more polished visuals and player animations, both during the game action as well as during the huddles, which goes a long way towards creating that next level feeling of immersion that VR can provide, as well as the much crisper visuals all around. Whether we're talking about the grass on the field, the stadiums, or the players themselves, this one is most certainly a significant visual update to iterations past. But focusing on the on-the-field action with this one, the route running of the receivers, run blocking AI, and the general fluidity of motion with most animations are dramatically improved, providing yet again that extra touch of realism, with passing being sharper than ever and passes tending to find their intended target more often than not. But onto the most anticipated change, the defense, which plays remarkably sharp for the most part, with AI smart enough to take advantage of missed coverage assignments or overcommitting defenders. That really does give you that feeling of running around after various receivers, tight ends, running backs, and of course the opposing quarterback. Guys, Pro Era 2025 is the next-gen VR football experience and is a massive step in the right direction for Status Pro, as their live service model for NFL football is officially underway, and we here at VR News Now will be following along closely, so make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of your Pro Era 2025 news. Thanks, TDG. Our next story shifts gears from the grind of the gridiron to the grime of the Reddit boards, as there have been recent rumblings of a brand new PSVR2 feature entering the fray, courtesy of a PlayStation blog post in which an image clearly shows a PSVR2 headset with a wireless battery indicator present. And after some initial skepticism, this has been confirmed to not simply be the already present PSVR2 DualSense controller indicator, leading to speculation that some kind of wireless version of Sony's virtual reality headset may be in the pipeline. And as this is all speculation at the moment, I of course advise you guys to take this reporting with a grain of salt, but as any news or updates surrounding this one pop up, rest assured VR News Now will have you covered. But transitioning from speculation into the realm of confirmed news, Lost Interactive, the studio behind the wildly successful boxing sim Thrill of the Fight, has recently released an official trailer for its sequel Thrill of the Fight 2, which will go into early access for MetaQuest headsets November 21st. And is set to launch with online multiplayer, which includes skill-based matchmaking and direct matches, as well as customizable avatars and what the studio calls responsive, true-to-life physics. And I, for one, couldn't be more excited, as Thrill of the Fight 2 once again is slated for early access November 21st. But now for our final story today, we turn to a tale of disappointment and broken promises with the debacle that was the Hitman 3 Reloaded launch, as by now you're probably well aware of its well-deserved critical disdain, as the visuals, immersion, and general fluidity of gameplay were all lackluster to say the least. with particular regards to the visuals, which were likened to that of the PlayStation 2 and being called, quote, glitchy and ugly by various outlets, and suffering from jaw-dropping drops in frame rates that truly just made the whole experience an utter mess. And this is still the case following a big Day 4 patch, which admittedly has reduced some of the rigidness previously seen within the objects of the world, as well as improved the overall lighting, which definitely provides much more life to the actual environments themselves. But unfortunately, major issues such as the dearth of immersion, the ugly graphics, and the game-breaking frame drops of Hitman 3 VR Reloaded still cemented as the absolute worst way to experience this amazing title from this beloved franchise. But admittedly, I will be optimistically watching this one for future updates. However, my fear is that this one may have already done irreparable damage to its reputation with its absolutely horrendous launch, which truly is a shame and an injustice to the past versions and iteration in this beloved franchise. Alright folks, that's all the news I have for you guys today. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. I am Too Damn Golden. This has been VR News Now, and thanks for joining me in the simulation inside the simulation.